That enthusiasm of come here was
right. Right. I want to keep her close to me so I can keep an eye on what she's doing. This is my daughter, Athena Burns. I'm Will Burns. She's on Christmas vacation, so she's going to work with Daddy. Speaking of going to work with parents, I'm the child of a social worker. My mother ran a settlement house in the Carver Park Housing Estates in northeastern Ohio for over 30 years. And I saw what her community center did to impact the lives of children in the central neighborhood for a very long time. There were kids who went through that program who grew up in public housing, who went on to college, who went on to become teachers and doctors and lawyers and social workers and to make a difference. That community center helped to bend the curve in the lifetime opportunities for the people in that community. And when I became alderman, the former alderman, Tony Parkwinkle, left me with a list of things that I might want to get done as alderman of the 4th Ward. She was, she was very polite about it. She said, these are some things you might want to do. And the top of the list was the Arts and Recreation Center. And so I want to acknowledge the Quad Communities Development Corporation, LISC, the Local Initiative Support Corporation, which helped to fund a lot of the work around this. And obviously the City of Chicago, the Chicago Park District, the Chicago Housing Authority, and the Chicago Public Schools for really figuring out how we can all work together to get this done. And obviously none of this would be possible without the mayor of the city, Mayor Rahm Emanuel, who, when I met with him about this a little while ago, and I explained what the situation was and what the needs were of the community, he got it immediately and said we're going to get it done. And he has been true to his word. I'm excited to announce that the Arts and Recreation Center, the funding is there. We're getting ready to move forward and we'll break ground next year. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend and a great leader for the City of Chicago, Mayor Rahm Emanuel.
Let me say this as one comment about what Alderman Dowell referred to as stick-to-itness. That's one description, and since there's kids in the room, we will stay with that description of how we'll approach getting this done. And while he gives a lot of compliments both to the city and its different agencies, it really would not have been done without both the active engagement of the neighborhood and community over a decade, and an alderman who went to this with a doggedness that if you want to push city government, park district, CHA, public schools to actually act like one entity serving a city, you need an alderman who is a dog with a bone that is just attacks it. And that is exactly what Alderman Will Burns has done to make this happen, because it's actually, you could have spent another decade talking about it. Amen. And it could have been another decade of, well, go to CHA. No, you go to CPS. No, you go to the Park District. And it took his doggedness to focus city government on how to better serve the communities that will all be affected by this new community center. And to give you a mind's eye of what it's going to look like. But actually, this is a process we're going to run with the community in the sense of designing it. Go to Chinatown and see their new park facility, both the pool, the gym, the theater, the dance space, all that. That is what we are envisioning to do here. And so if you want a kind of a live architectural design that's up, it is going to be that space and that capacity that we're talking about. And Alderman Dowell has been an equal advocate of actually a piece serving here. And I want us, and making sure that we didn't spend another decade thinking, but another year of doing. And let's get it done. And what finally kind of tipped is I happened to have a meeting with Mike Kelly from Park District, and we were going over not only our building plans, but our program development. And in that plan was, and this happened to happen about a week before I was also meeting with Will about this and other issues. The biggest activity at the Park District, by far for kids, is swimming. A week later, I meet with Alderman Will Burns. And between downtown and Hyde Park, there's no pool. But the biggest activity in Park District, by a factor of 4, over the next biggest thing, is swimming and swim lessons. And so the community on the south side of the city of Chicago, in Bronzeville, Kenwood, Douglas, their kids, their families were missing out what everybody else was participating in. And it happened to be fortuitous, which is sometimes what happens in life, that Mike and I were meeting about our planning and our programs for the Park District. And it happened to be the following week I was meeting with Alderman Burns, about this community center and park district facility, and he happened to mention it was not the focus of what he was saying, but he mentioned it, and it just what grabbed me as a person who swims 3 times a week, a mile, for the last 32 years. If it's the biggest activity in the city, surpassing basketball, surpassing football, soccer, we can't allow part of the city to miss out what is essential, an essential lesson they got to learn. But it's going to be so much more. This school has a great music and dance program. We were talking to a young man who is part of the citywide arts in 8th grade. He plays guitar. We're now going to have a modern space right next to the school with the theater capacity and the arts capacity. So integrating what's going on in our schools, our parks, our public housing, all the aspects that come together to better serve. And this is also a classic case, I will say, of usually we get siloed. CHA's over here, park district's over here, schools are over here, and we don't ever actually come together and serve the community as one single public entity. And it took the 2 aldermen with a lot of community support, and not only support, but advocacy and doggedness to actually get the city government to better serve a neighborhood than it was before. I cannot wait to take this moment and start breaking ground and make this happen. And I would be remiss if I didn't also say CHA has been an incredible supporter of this effort and making sure that we get the resources that everybody had to put together. Everybody had to come to the table, and CHA has been a full-fledged partner with the Park District and with the city and with the 2 aldermen in making sure we get exactly what we need to better serve the families and communities that will be affected by this new community center. Now, the one request I have is, as we not only talk about and have an iterative process of what it will look like, we'll stick with the Quad Community Arts Center. But if you want to run a process in which we name it after somebody that's had a significance in the community, we are open to that. So we'll stick with Quad Community Arts Center until you guys say otherwise. We're open to naming it after a local hero, somebody who has actually changed history, so the kids also learn more about why they should be proud of what we're putting up here. So for now, Quads can't stay that, but if you wanted to make it something else, because there's a part of history, like every other part of our facilities throughout the city are named in recognition of somebody who's made a difference in the city's history and the lives of our community, we ask you to run that process, and the alderman with, I hope it's not another decade. So the building's going up pretty soon, so we don't need another decade. And also I want to give a hand to the principal. We just saw 2 classes, and it's incredible what you're doing. This is, I think, my 142nd school. I've never seen a school, so I want to, if you didn't see it, in the 3rd grade, they actually have T-shirts with their goals for reading and math. I have not seen that anywhere else, and I want to compliment you in that innovation where kids actually understand. I don't know, with that T-shirt, it's going to be very hard about the dog eating the homework, man. It's right on the T-shirt. You can't run away from that goal. So congratulations on bringing a very simple innovation that's focused kids on what their goals are for their education. With that, everybody, to your families, to you individually, have a happy and a healthy new year. And may this bring a good sense of a future that we want for the community on a year-round basis. Thank you.